What's going on, everyone? So today we're going to look at what we're doing for the Yoda RGH build and the Vader RGH build. Got a lot of parts in. I'm still waiting on some stuff so I can really dive into these builds here. One thing I wanted to show though, I got a bunch of stuff from Performance PC. I've gotten stuff from them for almost 2 decades now. This was something I found on their site. It was for the Xbox One, and without even thinking, I got it without realizing it's for the original Xbox One, and I have the S. So it is too big, but I mean, I'm pretty sure I could cut it down to size if I wanted to. But basically, this was marked down from like $20 or $30 for $6, and you have to choose what LED color you want. And I'm like, that's weird. I could have swore it was just for this plate. Well, I don't know what's going on there. Alright, it actually does come with a red LED strip, and I'm assuming a red LED fan to mount to this. And I kind of assumed it was something you'd have to cut your shell, but it looks like with these standouts here, I'm not super familiar. I think the original Xbox, that top plastic piece that's over the fan side of the console, must just pop off, and then you just replace it with this plate. And you can put this fan on. It's really just a 120 millimeter fan mount, so you can put any one you want. But I have a buddy who has an original Xbox One. I was actually working on his controllers the other day, and yeah, $6 for all this stuff. So I'm probably going to go ahead and paint it for him and just install it on his system, and we can look at it then. But moving on to these builds. So, as you know, we had an RGH1, RGH2, RGH3, and a J-tag. Now the plan for the J tag was to go into the ruby red shell. The RGH3 we're going to put on the shelf for a little bit and get back to that later. That one has the Sonos speaker soldered in there, and I want to kind of learn a little more about that and kind of reprogram my own sounds and use that for some sort of other build down the road. But with the RGH1 and 2, we're doing the dark side and light side. Now to kind of make up for the slim R2-D2 build where I wanted to do a dark side to that one, this one's going to be a little crazier than this one. So this will be kind of the cheaper build, and this one's going to not be very cheap. So this is just an RGH2 Jasper. It has the XE menu. Now both of these have a 320 gigabyte hard drive. As of now, they have all the Call of Duties. They got Grand Theft Auto 4 and 5. There's still over 200 gigabytes of space, but basically we're going to make 2 digital consoles. So we're going to remove the disk drive in both of these, and I've always wanted to do this. That's going to provide a whole bunch more space and actually allow me to water cool one of these without the XSPC water block. Because without the disk drive, we've got a bunch more space for a water block there. It doesn't have to be one that fits onto the disk drive, which doesn't exist other than the XSPC one. So anyway, this one we're going to do crazy air-cooled, lots of extra room, like I said, without the drive. And then this one will be fully internal water-cooled. So let's look at some of the stuff here. On the RGH2, like I said, has the XE menu, or XEX menu, and some games pre-installed. And that's about it on this one. We have the Yoda faceplate. It is brand new. We've got some stickers here. We may or may not use this one specifically, but something along these lines we'll incorporate into the build. We have the green chrome shell and clear shell kind of mixed in here. So this one has green LEDs on the rockers. Really nice. I like that green color. I was expecting it to be darker, but I actually really like this green. So this one's clear on the bottom. That won't be the battery cover that comes with this one. We got some white buttons and then the chrome shell on the top. Some other stuff we got in. This says Celtics, so this is just a ring of light that has green on the outside and then white in the middle, and that's going to go on this build here. I got some sleeving. This was like literally a few cents. I just got a bunch of this because there's going to be a lot of fans in here and wires, so I might want to cover some of it up, make it look a little nicer. Now both of these as of now, plan to have a 200 millimeter fan. This one 99%, this one 75%. We'll see. But this is I can never try to say this name. Gigamatic, something like that. Now what's cool about these fans, this is actually the one I used on the Grand Theft Auto 4 build. The one that was on the water-cooled one was a 30 millimeter fan. These, I believe, are 15, maybe 20. So it's a lot slimmer, it looks nicer on the outside, not as much protruding out the side, it kind of blends in a little bit. Now this one has red LEDs. This isn't really a fan I've been able to find anywhere. I got this off eBay, so I didn't have a choice, but we're just going to take the LEDs out of this one. And all of these fans on the inside will be green, and we'll have the green Talus Moon fans in the back. So originally I planned on having 4 fans across the top here, and then we're going to modify the top vent, the shell, and the hard drive cover to allow a lot more airflow for this to come out the side. Now you can see here I have another CPU block, or a heatsink on here. It's not actually in place yet, but I kind of want to do the copper ones. But regardless, this is basically how it's going to work. Without the disk drive, we can fit another CPU heatsink on the GPU, and I kind of want to have it turn this way. Maybe even make my own custom fan tunnel right here, so these will draw air out. Our big fan will push air into the top of both heat sinks. Talus Moon fan will pull mostly out of this one, still a little bit out of this one. This is a stock fan tunnel that still fits even with this heat sink. And then this one will kind of pull it out this way. Now with the extra space here, because we won't have this disk drive, so this will all just be open. I'm going to, and yes, I'm going to paint this. It came to me like that, all chipped up there. But this is a fan controller where we will be able to plug in all of our fans and have it on a knob, so we can turn it down to keep it quiet, but if it starts heating up you can crank it up, and this should be extremely efficient based on my experience of adding all kinds of different fans and heat sinks to 360s. And then this switch here would be for like an LED switch, just with this extra room. So I'll have to kind of trim this up a little bit, figure out a way to mount it. Now this one's powered by SATA. So basically what I'm going to do here is take one of these SATA connections from my old power supply, trim that off, and splice it into a DVD drive cable, so we can take the positive and negative 12 volts and positive and negative 5 volts, wire that into that SATA cable, and then that'll plug in here and go right in here to power our board, and then we can plug all our fans in the back. Like I said, it would be 4 across here. The only reason I may not is because then we would lose this mounting point here to hold the top shell on. And to be honest, I think these 3 would be fine anyway, because these ones are directly in front of that heatsink. So I could add this one somewhere in the back or not use it. But we'll still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fans on this one. Now, this one actually might have the same amount of fans, but we'll see. Basically, let me remove this fan. So I kind of have been messing around with this because I wanted to have some idea of what I was doing before I started filming this. But basically, you can see here we got our 2 water blocks, okay? Now this one has the ports on the side, this one on the top. The one with the ports on the top actually came with this bracket here. Now the problem is it's too long. So basically I would need to cut the ends of these off and drill my own hole a lot closer to the center to be able to use that one. Now, these ones come with the black bracket. So basically I took the bracket off of this one, held it up against this silver one, and trimmed the inside of it out so that it would fit on this block. Now the reason I can't have this one on the CPU is because of the capacitors that completely surround that block. No matter which way you face this, once you put fittings and tubing on there, it's going to hit the capacitors down there. So that's why this one had to be here. Now I also trimmed this one to fit back on this block, so that down the road I can buy another one of these that has this bracket on it, and then take both of them and cut the ends off, drill holes, and I'll have another set of water blocks for another build we'll get to one day. Anyway, everything else, I want to have this reservoir. It goes directly into this pump, goes directly into this flow meter, which has a UV propeller on the inside. So this will have some UV stuff going on. I plan on using mostly this red tubing in here. This is UV red, and probably even UV red fluid in here. Now this you'll be able to see when the faceplate is on. Like I said, there'll be no disk drive, so this will be a hole. You should be able to see this, especially with that tube in here. Once you put a UV LED in there, this whole thing lights up, and if I use red fluid, that will glow very well. Now this one has a Bowls ring of light board, so it's red around the outside, white in the middle. That's what's going on this one. Now from here, we're probably going to put this in the back. We'll have it flow directly into the meter, into this radiator, out of it, into this block, out of this block, into this radiator. Now it won't be this one. I'd have to order another one. I haven't done that yet. It's going to be the same thing, except there's ports on either end. So it'll just go in one end and out the other. Actually, what I'll probably do is go straight into this radiator, back into this block, straight into this block, and then out into this radiator, and then the other end can come out and go right back into the reservoir. And with the rest of these ports up here, I can drill a hole here and in the top vent, which would be about right here, and put a fitting on here so you can fill it up directly that way. And with this space, I plan on getting a little ball valve, so you can open and close that, fill it up, and then use that same spot to open the valve, tilt it this way, and drain all the fluid out. Now we've got these fans here. These are just red LED fans, so we'll have 3 in the back on this radiator. And I have 2 more to put on this one, but I don't know, that might be a little much. We'll see. Now if I do that, I still need some sort of intake, and that was what I was going to use this fan for. Now it's not as see-through as this one. This one will actually be even better than that thermal take one I use, because it's crystal clear. You'll be able to see everything going on the inside very well. And this one's a little bit harder to see, but it definitely, I think, matches the vibe. Red, black, it's got red LEDs in it. And I'm hoping with all the UV stuff and LEDs on the inside with the fans and everything, you should be able to see through that and see all the cool tubing and everything very easily. So that's the plan on this one. Last thing I totally forgot on this one was this bubble light kit, which was advertised as just one. You see there's little bubbles in there. Now these are just, it's a green LED. I was under the impression this was a cold cathode kit because it came with this and all this, and they just made it sound like a cold cathode kit. But it's literally just LEDs, and it's kind of annoying, honestly. It looks cool when it's on, but it has these different modes, and it's just green, so it just flashes different patterns, basically. And every time you turn it on, it goes to the pattern mode, so you would have to click through it and do all that. Well, these are literally just DC volt, 12 volt LEDs, okay? So on a cold cathode, you need this box because you're converting DC to AC in order to get cold cathodes to work. This is just a controller box for the stupid modes it comes with. So I think we're just going to bypass all of that, cut all this out, and just wire these in 12 volts. As soon as I saw this, I wanted to get it for this build because it just reminded me of like Yoda's lightsaber. And we'll see what it looks like when they're on before I end the video. But yeah, I think I can put one along here. We can have like a little cutout window underneath the big fan, or one on this side, or both. We'll see. Like I said, I still got to figure out where exactly this is going to mount. Otherwise, we're probably going to dive into this one first. This video was just about explaining the 2 builds. We're going to dive into this one. I still have more parts on this one I'm waiting on, so I kind of want to do them side by side, but we're going to start with this one. So anyway, that's where we're at. Let me know which one you're most excited about. Subscribe, like, and I'll see you in the next video. Yeah, they kind of look like Christmas lights until you go to the mode where it's just solid green like that, but very cool. I like it. But yeah, like I said, we'll probably just cut these off and just wire them straight in. So, alright, bye.